Hello, everyone, and welcome to Yoga Strong Quick Burn. Today is going to be a fast power flow to build strength, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So, start out in Sukhasana or easy pose. So, you're down on your seat with your legs crossed. Start with your right shin in front. And we're just going to take some time to warm up the body, make sure that we're not jumping right into the challenging stuff, but to give our body a chance to wake up and warm up. So, in your easy pose, your easy seat, just take a few deep breaths. So, you can soften the gaze or you can close the eyes, whichever is more comfortable for you. And we're going to take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the nose, breathe into the bottom of your lungs, and exhale, sigh it out. Good. One more of those. Inhale through the nose, big deep breath, fully into the chest and belly. And then exhale it out the mouth. Beautiful. So in this easy pose, we're going to inhale, reach the arms down, around, and up. On your exhale, hinge from the hips and reach forward through the fingertips, leaving your sit bones down on the ground as you reach the hands forward, coming into a gentle seated stretch. So you may feel this in your glutes, you may feel it in your hips, you may feel this stretch in your low back. Allow length in your spine here, so reach the crown of head forward as the sit bones stay heavy down on the mat. Take a few long, slow, deep breaths. You can exhale through the nose now, so inhale and exhale through the nose, trying to make them equal in length. On your next inhale, begin to walk the hands back in. Awesome job. Let's twist to the left. So take the hand to the outside of your left knee. Inhale, sit tall. And then exhale, twisting to the left. Just a gentle twist here. On your next inhale, start to walk the hands back in. Good. Sitting tall, we're going to come into a gentle twist. So take the left hand to the outside of your right knee. Inhale, sit tall, and then exhale, gently twist to the right. So make your spine really tall here. So sit as tall as you can without placing any strain in your shoulders or your back. Breathe deep. Find that equal inhale and exhale. And inhale to come back to center. Let's switch our legs. So now I want you to take the opposite shin in front. So the left shin comes out in front. Good. Inhale the arms down, around, and up. And then exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Reach through the fingertips as you bring the hands down to the floor or mat in front of you. Leave your seat heavy on the floor. Create length in the spine. Notice if you're really rounding through the spine here, and if that's the case, just walk the hands slightly up so that you can bring more ease and space into the spine. On your next inhale, start to walk the hands back in. And then we're going to take a gentle twist in the opposite direction. So take the right hand to the outside of the left knee. Inhale, get tall through the spine. And on your exhale, twisting to the left. Deep, full breaths here. You can begin your Ujjayi breath if that's a breath that you like to practice. One more. And then we'll inhale to come back to center. Go ahead and transition into tabletop position. So mindfully come onto hands and knees, shoulders stack over wrists, hips stack over knees. Find length in your spine, and let's warm up the spine with a few cat-cows. So on your inhale, lift your sit bones, spread them apart as you arch through the spine, trying to create an arch through the entire spine, not just in your low back. So notice if most of the stretch is taking place in your low back, and try to distribute it more throughout the entire spine instead. On your exhale, lengthen the tailbone down to the floor between your knees, rounding through the spine, press the floor away, spread your shoulder blades. Inhale to ripple back into your cow pose. So lift your tailbone, send the heart forward, arching through the entire spine, not just the low back. As you exhale, round the tailbone down, chin into chest. Come into that Halloween cat shape as you press the floor away. Let's do one more. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. And then come back to that neutral tabletop position. All right, so let's start warming up our core. We're going to need some core engagement today. So we're going to start by leaving both hands down on the ground, but I want you to extend your left leg back as if we were going to come into bird dog pose. So reach through the heel, lift through the inner left thigh, and then on your exhale, point the toes, bend the knees, hug that left thigh in towards the chest, press the floor away, slightly rounding through your back. Good. Inhale, reach that left leg back, flex through the foot, toes point down, engage the glute and the hamstring. Exhale, bend the knee, draw the thigh in, press the floor away, spread the shoulder blades. One more time. Inhale, left leg reaches back. On your exhale, draw the navel in, bend the knee, hug the thigh in towards the chest. Good. Inhale to extend that leg back behind you. Now take that left foot, cross it over to the right side of your mat, rest the toes down on the floor, and then take your gaze out to the right side. So you're trying to maybe peek over that right shoulder to see your left foot. This should feel like a really nice stretch through the left side of your body. So keep pressing the floor away, engaging through the shoulders. Lengthen through the spine, and then on your inhale, come back to center and step that left leg in. Let's take it to the other side. So right leg extends back this time. Press through both hands equally. Press the floor away, toes point down. Exhale, bend the knee, point to the toes. Hug that right thigh into the chest. Press the floor away. Inhale, right leg extends back, lift through the inner thigh, draw the navel in, exhale, bend the knee, hug the thigh in. Inhale, extend that leg one more time, and exhale, bend the knee, engage the core, really hug the abs up and in as you press the floor away, and then inhale, that right leg back. Now cross that right leg over to the left side of your mat and take your gaze over your left shoulder, trying to peek at that right foot if you can. Enjoy that right side body stretch. And on your next inhale, let's take it back to tabletop position. All right, walk the hands slightly forward in front of the shoulders. It's time to start really moving the body now. So spread the fingers wide, big slices of mat between the fingers. Tuck the toes under and lift the hips up and back to come to downward facing dog. So feet are about hips distance apart and hands are about shoulders distance apart. Draw the belly towards the top of the thighs while engaging the core. So hug the navel in towards the spine. You'll see that I have a generous bend through my knees here. You don't have to straighten the legs. Heels don't have to touch the ground, especially since we're probably a little cold right now. So feel free to put a bend in those knees so that you can really find length and space in your spine, especially the low back. Press the floor away. hug the top of the arm bone into your shoulder socket. And then on your next inhale, we're going to keep the core engaged as we slowly rock the shoulders forward, long spine, to come to plank pose. Stack the shoulders over the wrists. On your exhale, zipper the core up as you lift the hips up and back to come back to that downward facing dog. Let's do that 4 more times. Inhale, shift forward, long spine. Gaze is still down at the floor. We're not looking up. Exhale, draw the navel up and in as you send the hips back, down dog. Inhale, rock forward. Good, shoulders over wrists, press the floor away. Exhale, press back into downward facing dog. 2 more times. Inhale, forward, plank pose. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Last one. Inhale, rock forward, plank pose, and exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Hold here just for a breath. On your next inhale, slowly rock the shoulders forward once more. This time we're coming into a chaturanga, so you can leave the knees lifted or lower the knees down, your choice, whatever's appropriate for you. And shift the weight slightly forward, shoulders past the wrists. Bend the elbows to lower down to hover halfway. And then inhale to come to your downward facing dog or cobra pose with the thighs down on the mat, your choice. On your exhale, if you're in upward facing dog, you'll just press back to downward facing dog. If you're in cobra, you can press up to tabletop or plank pose and then send the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Good. So on your next inhale, you're going to bend the knees, take the gaze forward between the hands, and take some small steps to come up to the top of the mat. Good. Inhale, hands to shins, half lift, spine becomes parallel to the floor, and then exhale, fold over the legs. Let your head hang heavy like a bowling ball. Good. We're going to move into our first flow. So take the hands, come onto the fingertips, and I want you to bend the knees a little bit more. Mindfully step your left foot back. So don't just shoot it back there, but instead I want you to use your muscles, use your core to take a big step back with that left leg. Make sure you're a wider stance, so hips distance apart. Now when you found that stance, press into the right heel and send the arms back as you come up halfway into airplane pose. So notice we're not all the way up in our lunge. Instead, we're about at 45 degrees. Right knee stacks over right ankle. Kneecap tracks over your second toe. Draw the belly up off that right thigh. So hug the navel in. Make sure you're not resting down on that thigh. And then on your next inhale, send the arms forward, biceps along the ears. Hold here. Keep drawing that right hip back and the left hip forward. Hug the navel in. Good. And then on your next inhale, come up to your high lunge. Should feel like a little bit of a relief. And then exhale the hands back down to the mat to frame the foot. Now mindfully step that left foot forward, coming back to that forward fold. Good. Inhale, hands to shins, half lift. Lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, bend the knees to fold. Good. So come back onto those fingertips. We're coming onto the second side. So sending the weight more into your left foot for a moment. Lift the right foot up and mindfully, slowly take a big step back with that right foot. The slower you move, the harder it is, right? All right, so find your balance. Hips distance between the feet. Press into that left heel and then send the arms back, coming into that airplane lunge. So left knee over left ankle. Draw that left hip back. Make sure it's not sneaking forward. We want to square the hips towards the short end of the mat. Good. Draw the navel up off the front thigh. On your next inhale, send the arms forward, biceps alongside the ears. Hold here. Keep drawing that left hip back. And then on your inhale, come up to your high lunge. Reach the fingertips up. Should feel really nice. And then exhale the hands down to frame the foot. Mindfully step that right foot forward. to come to your forward fold, feet hips distance apart, head hangs heavy. Inhale, half lift, hands to shins, tailbone lengthens back, crown of head reaches forward, bend the knees, exhale, fold. Good. From your forward fold, we're going to plant the hands, bend the knees a lot, and then step the feet back one at a time to come to plank pose. So you'll step back into a lunge, and then you'll step the second foot back to come to plank. We're going to take a vinyasa, so knees or no knees, shift the weight forward, bend the elbows to lower down, either halfway or all the way down to the mat, and then inhale, untuck the toes to come to cobra or shift forward to upward facing dog. On your exhale, you'll either transition to downward facing dog if you're in upward facing dog, if you're in cobra, lower down. Inhale to press up to plank or tabletop, and then exhale to come to downward facing dog. Take a breath here, and then inhale, shift the weight forward, shoulders over wrists, coming into your plank pose. All right, now we're going to come into side plank. So we're going to roll onto the pinky toe side of the left foot, shifting the weight into the left hand. Now you can stack the feet, or you can modify by stepping that right foot in front of you. Your choice. Right hand to right hip, or reach that right arm high to the sky. Hold here for 3 breaths. Press the hips forward and press the floor away. Shoulders stacked right over left. Good. One more breath. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a challenge. So if you can't make it happen this time, that's okay. I want you to bend your right knee, take it into your chest, and then step the right foot forward to the top of the mat. We're going to roll onto the sole of the right foot and onto the ball of the left foot. It's okay if you don't make it all the way. Just meet me here in this lunge with the right foot forward and the left foot back. Good, let's come back to that airplane. So come up halfway, 45 degrees. Sweep the arms back, engage the core, draw the belly button in. Inhale the arms forward, biceps next to your ears. Good. That right leg is probably starting to shake maybe, and then we're going to inhale to come to our high lunge. Beautiful. Exhale, the hands down to the mat. Step that right foot back to plank pose. Good, let's switch it to the other side. So we're going to roll into the pinky toe side of the right foot. Weight comes into the right hand. We're coming to side plank on the second side. So you can stack the feet or modify by stepping the left foot forward. Your choice. Choose what's right for your body. Left hand, left hip, or reach the left hand up. Breathe. Press the floor away. Use your breath to get you through this last hard bit. You've got this. All right, we're going to do the same thing. So bend the left knee, draw it in towards the chest, step it towards the top of the mat, help it forward if you need to. We're coming onto the bottom of the left foot, rolling onto the ball of the right foot. Inhale to come up halfway into your airplane, so about 45 degrees with the torso. Stack the left knee over the left ankle. Really lift through that right thigh. Draw the left hip back. On your next inhale, sweep the arms forward. Keep engaging through the core. Lengthen through the spine, almost there. And then we'll inhale up to your high lunge and exhale. The hands down to the mat. Beautiful. Step that right or left foot back. Plank pose and exhale to downward facing dog. Good. Walk your dog a little bit, bend the knees. And then we're going to bring the knees down to the mat. Big toes together, knees wide, child's pose. Rest your forehead down on the mat or on a block. Catch your breath. Slow down your breathing. Good. On your inhale, start to come up, walk the hands in towards the knees, bring the knees together, coming into hero's pose, sitting the hips on the heels, and then take the hands behind, interlacing the fingers, and reach that fist. down to the floor. You can modify by bending the elbows a little bit or holding opposite forearms, opposite elbows if interlacing the fingers isn't working for you. And if hero's pose doesn't work for you, just transition to easy pose or cross legs. Good. Release the hands, reach the arms out in front, bring the palms together, and send the fingertips forward, spreading through the shoulder blades, maybe tucking the chin slightly down in towards the chest. Stretching the back body. Beautiful. And then we're going to transition onto our seat, send the legs forward, staff pose. Put a little micro bend in your knees here. Inhale, arms up. And then exhale, hinge forward from the hips, coming into a seated forward fold. Now I know we didn't really open the hamstrings a ton during this class, so be mindful here that your hamstrings are not as open as they might be during a 60-minute class. So really be generous with the bend in your knees here. It's more about just feeling a stretch, not necessarily about reaching the feet. So you can either bend the knees and reach forward, or you can just be okay with having the hands on the knees or the shins. That's the thing about these shorter classes is that we have to do a bit with less time, and we want to be mindful that our bodies are not as open as they would be during a 60-minute vinyasa flow. So just be careful and listen to your body. Good. Inhale to come up. We're going to bend that left knee, set the left foot flat on the floor. Take your hands behind you, and we're going to come into a seated figure four. So right ankle crosses over the left thigh, flex that right foot, and the closer your left foot is into your seat, the more intense the stretch is going to be. So find the distance with your left foot that feels comfortable, but you still feel a nice stretching sensation through the right hip. And then we'll switch sides. So go ahead and back out just a little bit so you can uncross. And then we'll cross the left ankle over the right thigh, slightly above the knee, flex through the left foot, and then shift that right foot in until you feel a nice sensation, but you can still breathe nice and deep. Making sure you still got a long, tall spine here. And release, uncross. If you would like to take a Shavasana, I highly encourage you to take a Shavasana here for as long as you like or as long as you're able to. If you don't have time for a Shavasana, I would encourage you to just sit in a comfortable seat, take a few deep breaths with your hand over your heart and your belly, and then when you're ready, move on with your day. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.